I recently recorded a live performance of a chamber orchestra, and I also went to and recorded one of the rehearsals. Unfortunately, the rehearsal was in a different venue from where the performance would be, and so recording that was less useful than normal. I wasn't able to make any mic choices or placement. But I did record it for two reasons. One, so that I could get to know the pieces a little bit, even if it wasn't the same environment. And two, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to make a mic comparison video. So I put up 3 pairs of cardioids on one stand. It was actually 2 pairs of cardioids and 1 subcardioid. And so the 2 cardioids, which are Oktava MK-012s and Austrian Audio CC8s, are in ORTF. And the subcardioids, which are Line Audio CM4s, are in what I've read to be a position that would approximate ORTF in terms of stereo recording angle, and that is to put them in NOS positioning, or what NOS would be if they were cardioids. So they are at 30 centimeters, 90 degrees. The venue was a small church with not so great acoustics, which is why I'm doing cardioids here. It was actually a subset of the orchestra. Not everybody was there. For example, there were no basses that evening. And they're in a kind of a strange config because it's a small church, and like the percussion was up on near the altar, elevated. So it was not a perfect recording opportunity, but hopefully you'll get some idea of the differences between these 2 mics. I set all of the preamps to optimize each mic. Looking back, I probably should have set all the preamps at the exact same level so you can get an idea of sensitivity of each mic pair, but I didn't. The piece that I recorded, or the piece that I'll play snippets of now, is actually a piano concerto, but because they were rehearsing multiple pieces, they did not move the piano into the correct position for a concerto, and I didn't even spot mic it because of all that was going on in front of the piano on other pieces, so there just wasn't time. But, you know, for an ORTF cardioid mic comparison video, the spot mics would be irrelevant anyway. So as you're listening to this, just treat the piano as another instrument in the orchestra. So one unfortunate thing about this evening was that there was a significant amount of rumble coming into the mics in certain snippets that you'll hear. I'm pretty sure there was some air handling hitting the mics because at one point it hits the octavas a lot worse than the others, and so they are notorious for being susceptible to wind noise. But there are also other points where the rumble was in all 3 mics. And I believe what's happening there, had this been a real recording, I would have tried to mitigate that by moving the mics in some way. But I think the conductor's podium was transmitting rumble through the floor to the C stand where my mics were. All of the mics were on suspension or shock mounts of some kind, but clearly it wasn't enough. So I apologize for that. Hopefully you can still make some sort of a comparison here. All right, so I'm going to get started here. First thing I want to do is just compare the levels here. I'm going to run a quick loudness analysis on all 3 here. And as I said, I adjusted the preamps individually on each of these to get the correct levels on each mic. So hopefully what you'll see here is that the levels are going to be pretty similar. Okay, so loudness analysis shows, and this is from left to right. Channel 1 is the Oktavas, Channel 2 Austrian Audio, Channel 3 Line Audio, and these tabs should be the same. So peaks are at negative 17, 18, 17.8, so these are very close, within 1 dB. Integrated loudness, negative 38, basically negative 38, negative 38. So these are very, very closely matched. I'm going to go ahead and bump all of these up 6 dB just to get the level somewhere where I want it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we're up 6 dB. I think the way I'll do this is I have 4 clips to play here. I think I will play most of them all the way through once for each pair of mics, and then I'll provide timestamps so you can switch between them if you want to. On the 3rd clip, I think I will A/B them within the clip, just to keep the video a little shorter, and I think that provides a better opportunity to listen to the differences between the subcardioids and the cardioids, just in terms of stereo imaging. So let's start. And I'll always start with the channel 1, the Oktavas. Okay, so now we're at clip 4, which is where the worst rumble of the 4 clips I'll play for you. This is where the rumble was the most obvious. Both you can hear it and see it pretty plainly. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to where this rumble first occurs in this clip, and let's get a sense for what it sounds like. Bring up the real-time analyzer here, and we'll listen to the Oktava first, and then the Austrian audio, and then the Line audio. But it's really apparent in all three. The Austrian or the Oktavas, I think, are always going to be the worst. I did go ahead. I didn't. So I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. I've imported all these into Ardour, and apart from that region gain, I added 6 dB. I've done nothing else to them. I did put some parametric EQs in line, but they've been turned off for the entirety of this video so far. So now let's see what I can do with a parametric EQ on the Oktavas with just a standard 80 hertz high pass filter. I'm going to play it once without the EQ, and then I'll turn the filter on and play it again. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way so we can see the effect and hear it. So that high pass treats a significant amount of it, but not fully. So I'm going to go ahead and go a little bit more aggressive with the shelf on top of the high pass. I don't know if this might be better accomplished with 2 instances of this parametric EQ in line. I'm not sure. So again, I'm just going to A/B this and see what it sounds like with the Oktavas, without and then with. So that takes care of most of it. You can still hear it a little bit, but that might be a good trade-off. As I mentioned, the basses were not there that night, so there's not a lot of low end in this, and they don't have a gigantic bass drum, which would be a lot of the low end content of this orchestra. So this high pass doesn't make that much difference on what I've recorded here, but I think it certainly would in at the full performance. So that having been said, I'm going to go ahead and leave it off. Just annoying though the rumble is, I think it's better to listen to the mics as is. So comparison number 4. that about covers it, I think. As I said, the rumble was unfortunate, but that's just what you get in some venues. The floor was just really reverberant and transmitted all those sounds. That's a data point there. If I ever need to record an actual performance in that church, I'd have to do more than I did. Move the stand back, decouple it somehow from the floor to the best of my ability, and maybe get even better shock mounts. I think all three pairs are capable mics. I don't think I would use the Line Audios in that configuration without, well, changing it slightly. I think I'd want to bring them in just a bit, but I don't see using them as a main pair too often. So I hope this video helps somebody.